A Lamborghini Huracán owner just spent $274,000 on his dream car. Carbon fiber everywhere. Mid-engine V10 screaming to 8,500 RPM. 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. He pulls up to a stoplight, feeling invincible. Next to him, a BMW M4 Competition. The driver paid $79,000. The Lamborghini owner smirks. The light turns green. 3 seconds later, they're dead even. 6 seconds later, the M4 is half a car length ahead. The Lamborghini owner is confused, then angry, then in denial. He just got gapped by a car that costs less than his options list. This isn't a fluke. This happens every single day. This is why the BMW M4 Competition embarrasses supercars that cost twice its price. Just look at this clip. A BMW M8 Competition smoking a Huracán.
Going again. Yeah.
That makes faster, bro.
Yep.
Fucking BMW.
How do they do it?
I don't know how they do it, bro.
Crazy, right? The M4 Competition costs $80,000. Twin turbocharged 3.0 liter, inline-six, making 503 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. Quarter mile in 12.0 seconds flat. Compare that to supercars at $160,000 to $200,000. McLaren 570S makes 562 horsepower. Lamborghini Huracán makes 631. Audi R8 makes 602. They hit 60 in mid-3 seconds, same as the M4. Quarter-mile times are within tenths. The performance gap that should exist based on price doesn't exist in reality. Here's why. The M4 is a complete package with zero compromises. It has a trunk, a back seat, ground clearance that clears speed bumps, and build quality that works every day. Supercars sacrifice everything for drama. The McLaren has a carbon tub that costs $50,000 to repair. The Lamborghini scrapes on every driveway. The R8 requires 3 service visits in the first year. The M4 just works every day, in any condition, without drama or fear. Let's talk about the engine, because this is where BMW destroys the competition. The S58 twin-turbo inline-six makes 503 horsepower at 6,250 RPM and holds it flat to redline. Peak torque, 479 pound-feet, arrives at 2,750 RPM and doesn't drop until past 5,500 RPM. That's a 4,000 RPM power band of maximum thrust. Supercars with naturally aspirated V10s need to scream at 8,000 RPM to make peak power. The M4 is already there at 3,000 RPM in third gear. Exit a slow corner at 45 miles per hour. The M4 is at 3,500 RPM, already making peak torque, pulling maximum acceleration instantly. The Huracán at 45 miles per hour is at 4,200 RPM, below the power band, waiting to climb to 7,000 RPM before delivering full thrust. The M4 is halfway down the straight before the Lamborghini wakes up. Turbochargers give instantaneous, overwhelming torque across the entire rev range. The Huracán makes 442 pound-feet at 6,500 RPM. The M4 makes 479 at 2,750 RPM. One sounds better. The other is faster where it actually matters. Weight is the elephant in the room. The McLaren 570S weighs 3,186 pounds. The M4 weighs 3,830 pounds. That's 644 pounds more. On paper, catastrophic. In reality, irrelevant. Modern performance isn't limited by weight. It's limited by traction. Put 503 horsepower through rear tires and you're already overwhelming grip. The M4 manages wheel spin constantly. More weight wouldn't make it faster. It would just spin longer. The M4 has carbon ceramic brakes, adaptive dampers adjusting 50 times per second, and a chassis so well sorted that weight becomes a benefit. That extra mass plants the rear under acceleration, improves high-speed stability, and gives confidence-inspiring predictability that lightweight supercars lack. Professional drivers lap the M4 Competition within 1 or 2 seconds of supercars costing twice as much. Nürburgring Nordschleife, the M4 runs 732. The base Huracán is barely faster. Same with the R8 and McLaren 570S. Chassis dynamics are where the M4 truly embarrasses supercars. Mid-engine cars are supposed to be superior. In practice, they're twitchy and nervous. Lift off throttle mid-corner in a Huracán and the rear tries to swap with the front. It's exciting but slower because you can't push as hard without risking a spin. The M4's front-engine rear drive layout is supposedly inferior, 54% front, 46% rear weight distribution. That should cause understeer. Except BMW spent decades overcoming this. The M4 has perfect steering feel, adjustable dampers, an electronic rear differential vectoring torque, and chassis balance so neutral it feels mid-engine without the terror. You can drive the M4 at 10/10ths with total confidence. Trail brake into corners and the front bites. Get on throttle early and the rear diff manages wheel spin perfectly. The car does what you tell it without drama. Supercars demand respect and punish mistakes. The M4 just goes fast, consistently, every lap. Maintenance costs are the final insult. McLaren 570S, annual service costs $3,000 minimum. Brake pads and rotors, $8,000. Clutch replacement, $15,000. The M4 shares parts with regular BMWs. Oil change costs $200. Brake pads are $800. The transmission lasts 150,000 miles without major service. You could track the M4 monthly, do 2 oil changes per year, replace brake pads annually, and still spend less than 1 McLaren service. M4 owners can afford to push their cars hard without fear. Supercars sit in garages because owners are terrified of repair bills. The M4 gets driven, tracked, used. More use means more enjoyment. That's a performance advantage that compounds over time. Professional racing drivers prefer the M4 for track days, not supercars, not exotic mid-engine machines. The M4, because it's faster in the real world, where conditions aren't perfect, where mistakes happen, where consistency matters more than peak performance. The BMW M4 Competition destroys supercars twice its price because it's designed to be driven hard in the real world, not to look good in photos. It has performance where it matters: power delivery, chassis balance, braking, consistency. It eliminates the compromises that make supercars unusable, and it does all this for half the price with a fraction of the running costs. Supercars sell on emotion and brand mythology. They're optimized for showrooms, not driving. The M4 is optimized for one thing: going fast, everywhere, all the time, without excuses. That inline-six makes supercar power with turbo torque that arrives instantly. That chassis delivers mid-engine handling without mid-engine terror. That practicality means you actually use the performance. When a car costs $80,000 and embarrasses machines at twice the price, it's not because the expensive cars are bad. It's because BMW built a complete weapon that prioritizes real-world performance over marketing mythology. That's why it destroys supercars, not on paper, in the real world where it matters, every single time.